Alright, we are pumping out the slop today. So I decided I'm going to do a class tier list. Now, how am I going to actually grade the classes is important. Because I'm not going to grade them on how easy it makes the hard parts of the game. I'm going to grade it on how it makes the game progress overall. This means I'm including things like doing every guide, doing the story, minor things like building a house, like basically the game as its entirety and how the class makes it easier or harder for you as a player. So, we're going to start with Commoner. And Commoner is pretty simple. C tier. Nothing better, nothing worse. The default experience, quote unquote. I actually think Commoner is a bad class. I think it's a very boring class. And unironically, I think Commoner could just get a buff and it wouldn't make it any better. Like if you gave Commoner a 10% uh, hunger, starving off hunger and not getting hungry buff, still C tier. Doesn't matter, right? Commoner could get buffs and it wouldn't matter. Um, Secondly, you're looking at this the way because it's obviously the worst class. It's Taylor. Taylor's issue is not that it has recipes. Recipe reliance is actually an interesting class idea, and I don't think it makes the class bad per se, especially because Taylor does not have. Taylor, out of all the classes, does have technically the best concentration of the recipes. Taylor Gamerson's cool, bit overrated. Ornate shields. Shields suck, but like having the second best shield in the game is not something to hate on. Granted, it's not exclusive because you can get in traders and ruins, but whatever. Um, Clothing to sell. It's stuff. It's like it's nothing important, but also like who cares? It's Taylor, like whatever. Um, what else? Okay. Yeah. Taylor's big drawback is 10% mining speed debuff. That is the big issue. If Taylor didn't have that 10% mining debuff, fine class. Could be commoner tier, C tier, easily. Civility doesn't matter. Who cares if you get less animal things or harvest slower? You hardly doing that in the game. Um, and armor durability, that's not even a perk. Who cares, like at all? When are you breaking armor in this game? Let's be for real here for a second. Let's take a step back. Who here is breaking armor in this game? You should be ashamed of yourself. Anyways, um, yeah, Taylor D tier. Now I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna do this in a very particular order, and what opinions I think are going to be easiest to defend and most controversial. First things first. I'm going to. This is a hard one, but I think Blackguard is B tier. I mean, explain. Blackguard, solid early game, more HP and melee damage is pretty alright. Not a big deal. But Blackguard's main advantage is the ability to mine faster. You mine quite a bit in this game, but not that much when you think about it. Like mine, I'll get on this later, but mining, while is a good chunk of the game, is not too important, especially when you get to like late game when you start using bombs and just destroying landscapes and hardly not mining that much yourself. And because prospecting, this is a weird one. Prospecting is not a good use of your time on a good amount of time. Like I'm gonna be honest, prospecting is kind of lame. I think it wastes a lot of time, and I think that for a majority of your playthrough, you do not need a prospect, or you really even shouldn't prospect. It's just not a good use of your time. So those like constant like drill borings that would cause you to mine so much just don't happen if you play that way. The correct way, by the way. So it kind of makes Blackguard get shafted a little bit. The hunger debuff is not actually a debuff; it is a buff. To be clear, not bad at all. That's a plus in the Blackguard. And like armor buffs is cool, melee damage is cool, but because range is the best attack style in the game by far, it just doesn't matter. Like Blackguard, you still spamming spears is better than using melee. So that is what it is. Blackguard's fine, better than Commoner, obviously, but not so much that I would go crazy about it. Now this is where it gets weird. Hunter, an S tier class, and it's really simply because fleet-footed. Fleet-footed is by far the best perk in the game. Um, not no contest at all. 10% faster travel. You travel a lot in this game. Basically, you're cutting down nothing by 10%. Just dead time when you're just moving around between things by 10%. Just huge. Like saving 10% of your personal time is already useful enough, but cutting out the boring parts of the game, where you're just kind of fumbling around, awesome. And it never becomes irrelevant. There's never a time in the game where being 10% faster is a bad thing, unless like you're fucking up a parkour jump, but whatever. Um, Unlike mining speed, where you can kind of get away with it a little bit, there's no such thing where you can't not want that 10% mining speed, that movement speed. Okay. Next is mail factor. I unironically think mail factor is an A tier class. Um, this is a bit interesting because mail factor is in a really weird spot where you have to have a lot of game knowledge to use the class proper. But mail factor, similar to guard, has a very solid early game where like getting more seeds faster, getting more vessels, making a lot of money. Mail factor makes a lot of gears. That's like mail factor's thing, kinda. It's just how much money they can make. But mail factor has some end game uses, like buying a bunch of ore vessels to get chromite and gold and silver and things like that, or using those gears you make to get ornate spears, which is the best weapon in the game at the moment. So things like that can really set mail factor apart. The only thing is that it's really. Do you think mail factor's her whole kit, all the perks to the foraging, the gears, the vessels, the seeds and stuff, is worth 10% mining speed? In my opinion, from how much I've played and how I play the game, I think mail factor is better than guard. It's hard though. Like I don't know if it should be like this or if it should be like this. In all honesty, I feel like this is better. Maybe I can move mail factor down to be like it's just weird because like C tier exists. You know what? Actually, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. The reason why I'm doing this is because I think Taylor is playable. I don't think Taylor is like awful. It feels bad to play. But I think that okay, I think the game's player sided. I think Vintage Destroy is too easy. So putting Commoner at B tier because the game is already so easy that you could take a worse class and it still feels like a normal experience. I'm putting Taylor in C. Now this is my most controversial one. I left Clockmaker for last because I think Clockmaker is the best class in the game. Unironically, I think Clockmaker is the best class for doing the game. If you want to do all the guides, do all the story content, build and like play the game in its entirety and get all the content out of it, Clockmaker is the best class. Reasoning for this is because it's Hunter without the mining debuff, basically. Combat in this game, you do not do a lot. You do very, very, very little combat when you actually think about it and how much combat you just run away from. There is technically only one mandatory fight in the game, and that is the Chapter 2 boss. The first one is skippable, but even if we include that, that's 2 fights in the whole game that you actually have to do. Both Clock and Hunter do them pretty fine. It's not really a big issue. The game's simple enough. And they're actually both typed towards Clockmaker. So when the Clockmaker eventually gets fixed, where his perk actually does range damage with the mechanical damage, Clock will just be like it won't even be like, yeah, I could see either way because some people struggle with combat. Clock would just be the best class in the game. Hands down, no question. And that's it. So hope you liked me blabbering about the class system. Very controversial. Also, a little quick thing. The exclusive recipes just don't matter at all. Blackguard sword, who cares? It's just, make an Iron Falx, doesn't matter. It doesn't cross any threshold, or like important threshold. Mail factor, sling, who cares? Who's wasting their twine on that? Hunter, you can buy it, and bows aren't that great anyways. You're still going to be spear spamming. Clock's thing, it's cool, I guess. Just you're not going to make it. Taylor's the only one with like recipes that kind of matter, and you don't. It's on Taylor, so fuck whatever. But yeah, that's it. Happy little yap session. If you disagree with me, you're wrong, but you should comment why, so I can get engagement bait. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and share this video with your friends to make them angry because I didn't put Hunter as the best class in the game. LMAO. Alright, bye-bye.